Emmy Award-winning broadcaster Bob Costas has been here in Burbank taping installments of his show, Later with Bob Costas. So we asked him to join us. Please welcome Bob Costas.
How are you, Jay?
Good. First, let me congratulate you with your show. It's terrific.
Yeah, it's working out okay.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's a great show. Now, do you remember your first professional assignment? Was it here?
Well, my first professional assignment was actually broadcasting minor league hockey in Syracuse, New York.
Oh.
$30 a game, $5 a day meal money on the road, which explains why Brent Musburger isn't interested in that job at this moment.
Yeah. Actually, he may be.
But,
you never know.
I'm just trying to set you up here, Jay. Yeah, and I broadcast hockey games, and actually the first game I broadcast was the second game I'd ever seen in person from start to finish. I'd been a baseball, football, and basketball man, but I just, for some reason, had never been a hockey fan. And I bluffed my way into that first hockey job by giving the station manager a tape of a basketball game and saying, I just don't happen to have any hockey tapes available right now, which was technically true at the time. And that left me with about a week to figure out how to broadcast hockey. And during that week, I went to every game that was within a couple of 100 miles driving distance. I was still a senior at Syracuse University. And I'd take with me somebody who was knowledgeable about hockey. And he would tell me everything he thought I'd need to know, like the rules.
And those can come in
things you want to be on top of. And then I get to Johnstown, Pennsylvania for the first game, and I'm my own engineer, color man, play-by-play man, the whole thing. And I've memorized all the players on both rosters. That much I've got down, until the Johnstown team skates out onto the ice. And for the first time, I'm guessing, since the Johnstown flood, their owner has popped for new uniforms, and every number has changed. So, first guy to hit the ice that night was number 2, Francois Ouimet. And I decided right then that whether he knew it or not, Francois Ouimet was about to play the greatest game of his life. So that night, whenever there was any doubt, which was always, Francois Ouimet was there.
Always there.
He checked himself into the boards. He saved his own missed shots. Final score 4-2. This son of a gun has 7 goals. So that was the first one.
Well, do you remember when we first met? I remember you were doing the, you were on the Letterman show, right? You were doing the elevator race.
Right. It was like the first or second month of the Letterman show, and you were on as a guest, and he put on the elevator races where people would race from his studio on the 6th floor down to the street on 49th, around the block, come back up the elevators. And naturally, an event like that requires a professional play-by-play touch, and I was happy to do it.
And who else to handle it better? Certainly.
That's right.
Now, you know, a lot of times people say to me, oh, you're on last night? Oh, I went to bed early, which is annoying enough. But now, it must be even worse for you. You come on at, what, it's 1:30 in the East.
Yeah, 1:30 Eastern, and also out here.
Now, what do you say to people when you have that?
Well, a lot of people write and say that they tape the show and watch it the next day, or sometimes they'll just tape Letterman. A lot of people do that and let it go another half hour, so by accident I wind up on there. And they're really looking for Letterman, and then they're forced to watch me. But I've also gotten a lot of response from new mothers and fathers who are up, you know, with the kid. The kid is crying all night, and they sort of get hooked on the show, or cab drivers, or people who have odd hours. Baseball players watch the show because when you play on the road, you can't wind down that quickly. Ball game's over 10:30 or 11. You take a shower, have something to eat. You're back in the hotel room doing whatever ball players do. And
I can't imagine what they do.
Well, I don't claim the show gets their full attention.
No, but at least 3 of them are watching the game. You know, I mean, watching the show. Now, you had Fred. You had our own Fred Decor on here. How did Fred do on the show? On a scale of 1 to 10, be honest now. He can't harm you now.
A scale of 1 to 10?
How would you say Fred did on the show?
I would say he was an 8.
An 8?
Yeah. Had he been willing to say anything at all about Johnny Carson, could have come up to a 9 or a 10. But I don't think that half hour at 1:30 in the morning was worth that much to Fred to reveal key elements that could affect the rest of his life.
Just a minute.
Yes.
Right now, just a minute. I'd like to say that if I didn't tell you that night what a wonderful, talented, charitable, darling man Johnny is, I failed in my job.
Now that I think of it, he did reveal all those facts.
Right. You know, when I saw you in Letterman show, you showed me that Mickey Mantle card. You still... No, you had a Mickey Mantle baseball card in your wallet.
Yeah. I still have it.
You still? You told me then you carried it everywhere.
There you go.
This is not your wallet. This is the worst wallet I've ever seen. This is. Now, what year is this?
That's a 1968, which was his last year in the major leagues. When you and I first met, I was carrying the 1958,
so
which
it's
I'd actually had.
Different color.
Yeah, I'd actually had that one since I was 6 years old, the 1958. It was one that I'd actually gotten out of the pack of bubblegum cards, but somebody wrote about it, and Tony Kubek started mentioning it, my devotion to Mantle as a kid growing up in New York, and Tony started mentioning it on the Game of the Week. Then every time I went to the ballpark, people were saying, "Hey, Bob, do you really carry the Mantle?" And I took it out and showed it to them so often, and they would grab it. It got so torn and tattered, I had to put it into retirement.
You know, it's strange. I remember when I was a kid, well, I was on a plane. I sat next to Mickey Mantle not long ago. And you expect, you don't really expect, but you think they're going to be like 100. Because when you're a kid, they're like 28. And you go, 28? That's like death, 29. You know?
That's right.
And you're talking to a living legend who's not that much older, really.
Well, I'm older right now than Mickey Mantle was when he retired. I'm older than Mantle when he played his last game,
well,
which is hard for me to grasp because I'm a kid broadcaster. But when Mickey was 36 and playing his last year, he was poor old Mickey, can't hit 300 anymore, but it's been a great run. You know, so it really puts things in a weird perspective.
Now, on your show, are you more comfortable with sports people, you think, or celebrities? I mean, you handle them both terrific. Is there...
And I like it when authors come on and politicians and newsmakers as well. A sports figure is always easy for me to interview because I have a lot of background material, so I could probably, although preparation never hurts, you could probably fall out of bed and interview a sports guy. But with somebody else, you have to do a little bit more preparation. That's the main difference.
What's the most unusual thing you think that's happened on the show? That's not a hokey question, but I know.
One memorable thing happened with Mary Lou Henner. A year ago, we were taping shows out here, and they told me, the researchers told me, that she has this facility where she can remember exactly where she was and what she was doing any date of her life. So if you say, February 18th, 1964, she says, well, I was in the 5th grade, and I was sitting next to Jill Smith,
it's a Wednesday,
and we scraped, we scraped our knees in the playground, skipping rope. She knows the whole thing. So I select at random the day men walked on the moon in the summer of 1969. And she gets all giggly and everything, and she says, someone put you up to this. And I said, no, I just picked it arbitrarily. It's an obvious date to pick, historical landmark. She says, no, they told you. And after finally denying this 3 or 4 times, she says, okay, I'll level with you. That's the day I lost my virginity. So...
You know what's fascinating about that? Men are walking on the moon, and there's Mary Lou.
Well, exactly the image I got it. The only thing I knew for sure was that Neil Armstrong wasn't the culprit.
Oh, another message. And this one's of interest. We'll be right back. Bob Costas.
I think I have the window seat over there. If I could just squeeze by here.
Okay, no, we can get out.